Hello everybody, welcome back to How to Everything. My name is Arsh and in this video I'm going to show you how to connect to your Linux server using your Windows machine. Now we're going to be using SSH for this, so without wasting any time, let's move on to the installation of SSH. So let us start with Windows. To install SSH on your Windows machine, open up your Windows settings by pressing Start plus I, go into Apps, and in Apps and Features, click on Optional Features. Once you do so, you should see a bunch of optional features which have already been installed on your PC. The ones you're looking for is OpenSSH Client and OpenSSH Server. Now if you find both of these in your list of installed features, then you're done with your installation. But just in case if you do not, click on Add a Feature, search for SSH, and you should see both of them pop up right here, OpenSSH Client and OpenSSH Server. Select both of them and click Install and wait until their installation finishes. Once it does, you should see them in your installed features list. Now that you've installed OpenSSH service on your Windows system, let's start by turning the service on. To do that, open your start bar and type in Services, hit enter. It should open up the Services window. Scroll down until you see OpenSSH. Right here, we have OpenSSH, SSH Server. Now right click on it and go to its properties. Set the startup type to automatic. By default it would be on manual, set it to automatic, and start the service if it wasn't running already. Once it is done, click apply and OK. Now that you've run the service, the final step required is to let it through your firewall. So SSH uses port 22, so we need to open port 22 in our firewall so that we can accept and send SSH connections. So to do that, just open your start bar again and type in Firewall, and select Windows Defender Firewall with Advanced Security. Click on it and it should give you a page which looks like this. Now from here, click on Outbound Rules, and inside Outbound Rules you'll see a bunch of rules which are active at the moment. Click on New Rule. On New Rule, go to Port and select Next. Select TCP and specific remote ports, and in this box type in 22, since 22 is the port number used for SSH. Once you do so, click Next, click on Allow the connection, Next, leave domain private and public all unchecked, so don't change anything here, and click on Next, and then finally give it a name. So just name it as SSH so that you recognize it when you see it later on, and click on Finish. Now I already have it here, so I'm not going to do it, but then at this moment you can just click on Finish and you'll see it appear in your Outbound Rules list. If you see, it says that it has been enabled, so enabled yes, and you're done with setting SSH up on Windows. Now the next step is to set up SSH on our Linux box or Linux server. So first thing you got to do is log into your Linux server. I'll just log into mine real quick. And here we are. Now once we are logged into our Linux server, just put in the command sudo apt-get --install OpenSSH client. Hit enter and it will prompt you for your sudo password, so just type in your password real quick and it should install OpenSSH client on your Linux box. Once it's done, press the up arrow button to get the same command again, sudo apt-get install OpenSSH change client to server. So sudo apt-get install OpenSSH server. Hit enter and let it finish installing. Once both of these client and server has been installed, clear your screen and let's turn on the service. So to do so, we're just going to type in service, the name of the service, that is SSH, and then start. Service SSH start. Hit enter and wait for it to load. Now it's going to ask you for an authentication just as a security measure, so put in the password for your user and hit enter. And here we are. Authentication has been completed and the service SSH has been started. Still not sure if it has started or not? Let's just check it real quick. Type in service SSH and status. So this gives us a status report of our SSH service, and as you see, it is active and running at the moment. So now we have SSH installed on our Linux server as well. So now that we're done installing SSH on our Windows machine as well as our Linux server, let's connect them both together. So go on to your Linux server and type in IPADDR. That should give you the list of network interfaces installed on your Linux server. The one you're looking for is after the loopback one. The first one is going to be loopback, the second one is the one that you're interested in. For me, it is ENS33. For you, it might be ETH0 or WLAN0 or TUN0. It differs between a lot of users. The one that we are actually interested in is coming after this INET, that's the IP address. So 192.168.160.134 is my IP address. For you, it might be something else. So take note of your IP address. The second thing you need to check is your username that you're going to log into using SSH from your Windows machine. So my user is called concatenate, and I'm going to be connecting to concatenate using SSH as well. So take note of your IP address and your username. Once you do that, open up CMD by right-clicking on the start button and going to command prompt. Once you're in command prompt, just type in SSH space the name of the user that you want to connect as. So I'm going to connect as concatenate, then put the @ symbol and type in the IP address. So 192.168.160.134. That's my IP address. Hit enter and it should ask you for the password. Now this password is basically the same one that you use to log into your Linux server. When you start your Linux server, you get a login. This is the exact same password. So type that in. Now you wouldn't see it getting typed out on the screen as a security measure, but do remember that it is getting typed out. So if you made a mistake, just go erase, just hold backspace and just type the entire password once again and press enter. Once you do so, as you see, I am logged in as concatenate on Inc server, which is the name of my server right here. And I can use all my Linux commands such as clear, ls, pwd, and various other commands. So I am logged into concatenate as add Inc server, and I'm in my home directory as you see right here. And this is how you connect to your Linux server using SSH. So do remember that the server needs to keep on running in the background. So if you have a cloud-based server, you're fine. But if you're using a virtual machine just like I am, you need to keep your server running continuously in the background to maintain your SSH connection. So just minimize it and keep it right here. So now you can use your CMD as a terminal for your Linux machine and see all the files that it contains. For example, if I do cd/ and ls, these are all the files inside my root directory. And this is basically it. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment down below if you have any problems. Be sure to share this video with your friends. This video might help someone. Now another video that I might make on the same topic is how to connect to your Windows machine using your Linux machine. That's somewhat similar, but there's just a few steps that are a little different from the others. And also I have another idea of making a video on FTP. So I was thinking I'd show you how to set up FTP on your Linux server as well as your Windows server and use it to transfer files between the two. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please like, share, subscribe. It really helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace out.